my first ever YouTube video. We're going to keep this short and sweet and ideally under 10 minutes at the most. There's no actual camera here because my web camera hasn't arrived yet. And my New Year's resolution goal that I don't really believe in is to try and do something different, try and make some YouTube videos and build a bit of a content brand there. So here we go, the first video, and we're going to dive right in. No messing around. Today is a interesting day in the stock market, January the 2nd, Thursday here. It's the first trading day of the year. And man, what a crazy, crazy morning we had. Going to look at SoFi first because what a crazy day it was. You can see we opened here in the morning right away, touching $15, pushing up high, which is great, especially when you look back in SoFi's past 3 or 4 years. You know, being high with their IPO, we can look at that real quick on Robinhood. Their IPO was in 2020, December 4th, shot up, down, up, crazy volatile here. A lot of fighting, a lot of wrestling with the big banks, and finally SoFi hit that, what I'm calling the bear years here. Pretty low, pretty dry, and pretty bleak. Some folks were pretty bearish buying in here, but it really wasn't until like this past year SoFi took off in September of 2024, and it's been a fantastic year. Let's just zoom in real quick to the 1 year chart so you can see that up 46% towards the end of December there, up 70%, which is really cool. And then after the new year, she's now down. We'll go back to the 1 day chart here, down 7% so far in January 2025. So why is this? What's happening? What is the news with SoFi, which you've probably already seen or heard before? We had one pretty significant downgrade. Well, I call it significant. It wasn't significant. Just somebody downgraded SoFi's share, and that was. I can pull it up real quick. I made a bookmark. My SoFi ones. Here we go. It was KBW downgrade SoFi. Couldn't remember the name. Definitely follow Timothy Sweeney and Stock Goat. Shout out to these guys for being fantastic. But long story short, KBW downgrade SoFi. Um, didn't really make sense. Wasn't strong technical or fundamental analysis to downgrade that. And Timothy's words are fantastic. Here you can sort of skim it really, really quickly. Brought it down to $8, which is kind of crazy given the fact as to where it was. But after KBW released their downgrade, every other news article jumped on it and posted about it. So there was a euphoria here in the morning that Stock Goat was all over. Shout out to him as well. But you can see it doesn't make sense, especially when you compare it to Bank of America. SoFi is growing. It's attracting new users. Its revenues are good. It's a strong um, performing stock, a fintech stock, we'll call it. Definitely operating as a bank as well. And then down here a little bit, there's another one I thought was interesting. Yeah, you see StockGoat 12 media outlets reported this, so definitely a bit of a coordinated movement there, I would say. Disclaimer, I do have SoFi stock. I bought in the 13s and the $14 range, so I'm holding it, hoping it hits 20, I believe, in the next year, 2 or 3 of SoFi. And here it is, KBW. Here's a downgrade. You can see this is interesting to note. Not a lot of folks have talked about this, but Invesco KBW Bank ETF it's an interesting ETF. You can see who actually, what different banks are inside this ETF. You got JB Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. All the big legacy banks are in this ETF. So maybe there's a reason as to why they're all trying to downgrade SoFi. They don't want that competition. They want to win. I mean, it makes sense to me. It's a Game of Thrones after all. It's a game of win-win. So this makes sense to me. I can see a bit of a coordinated effort to pull down SoFi. But let's go back and look at it real quick because it's currently 350 now, and the stock has rallied, which is great. Hit this low, so probably some um, short selling was going on here, getting profits, trying to drain and weed out the retail um, glass hands or diamond hands over here. But you can see how they've done this. They shot it down, people sold. But thankfully, if you held on, don't sell, don't be afraid. The stock does rebound. So as of what's this time? 1:30 today, Eastern time, the stock has rebounded nicely to 14.30, and I'm thinking towards the end of the day, it will finish probably around 14.30, and then tomorrow we should see a good day. But don't be afraid. SoFi is a strong performing stock. Its metrics are fantastic. We're going to jump that real quick on visualstocks.com. Alejandro is the owner here. Check it out. Sign up. Do the free, do the paid, whatever you think's best. But just look at that. If you're not really good at charts, or if you're learning like I am, um, just look at the growth to the right, up and to the right. Almost everything's up and to the right. Most important metrics here at a highlight would be revenue growth year over year, 35%. Fantastic. Versus the industry as well, which is very, very key. It's growing better than the big legacy old banks that are retail stores, brick and mortar stores, sorry, and are not as agile as SoFi, do not have as low as overhead as SoFi. Um, 3 year revenue growth, 45%, and then profit improvement, 6,000%. So some fantastic metrics here for SoFi. And then member growth, this is a big one. This to me is, I think, probably the most important one. Members are growing. SoFi is growing. SoFi is not flatlining or stagnating or going down. It is growing. They're adding new content and new products to their lineup. It's not just about refinancing loans, because they had that problem during COVID. That was the core of their business. So they definitely diversified their business quite a bit into lending and other financial services. So SoFi is doing well. They're growing. Their revenue is up. Their net income is positive as of quarter four 23. So they're making money. There's no problem here from what I can see and what other more experienced investors can see. And we'll go back over here and pull up this chart again before we end the SoFi. Anthony Noto, I just want to call him real quick. Fantastic CEO. Look up this guy. He is killing it with SoFi. Um, Big things to come. He stands to gain quite a good economical boost if SoFi keeps doing well, keeps pushing hard. I forget the detail. It was like a bonus of several $1 million, I think it is. But they're not doing bad. Anyway, back to the markets real quick. I want to look at a few of the other things. Let's look at our MAG 7 real quick. My favorite trusty MAG 7. Tesla had quite a dip. We'll spend a minute here real fast. So Tesla um, opened this morning over $413, I think it was. Yes, $413 up here. Yep. And man, a straight line drop. Just bad news. But not bad news, because they only missed annual car shipments. Well, we'll say annual car robots by like 2%. It was 495 cars they shipped. So if you think that's bad, I mean, that's not bad. They did fantastic. I think I have another highlight to show here. It's under Amit. Go check him out. Cool kid. Like him a lot. Here we go. So Tesla. So the streets expected 505,000, and they actually moved 495,000. That's not bad. Who cares? Like, zoom out. Tesla is not just a car company. There's robots, FSD, Optimus. We'll obviously say Trump's relationship to big things for Tesla this next 4 years, maybe more. Yes, definitely more. So ignore the short-term noise. Look for signal, as Jesse says, and stay convinced on your convictions. Don't get scared when other people panic, and listen to these talking heads. Um, yeah, this was a good time to buy the dip. Still is technically, because right now Tesla is still down 378. We'll zoom in here. I'm holding, like I said, long-term holder. I'll keep buying into Tesla at these prices, because I see the bigger picture. We're talking 3-4 years from now. Where's it going to be with Optimus and Robotaxi and other products they have lined up? So, and then moving along around here, Apple is another one I hold, darling of mine. Apple had a bit of a rough day with Tesla, Microsoft down a little bit, Google flat, and then Amazon, Meta, and Nvidia all green, doing well. Google's just went green, but not too worried about Apple. Apple can be like this, can be down up a few times. It's had an incredible past few months, so I'm pretty happy with my gains on Apple. Would like to see it keep, of course, pushing up, but strong company doing well. Is there a reason for their sharp decline today? Let's find out. Customer response to Apple Mixed Intelligence. There was a lawsuit. I think they settled a like $90 million lawsuit, but we're not worried about it. Apple is performing well. Great company. Mag 7, I think, going to be a leader in AI development in these next few years. So we're not panicking. We're not selling any of our Apple stock. And then a few other ones we just want to highlight real fast. We'll go to our cheap ones that we're watching. Some aren't as cheap anymore. But you have Hims, done well. Some of these battery companies did the best. Neo had a good day, 4%. And then Sound AI it was down now it's up. So a few things to keep an eye on. One that I'm actually interested in quite a bit is Hover, next generation flight technology. They're an aircraft company, aerospace and defense, but this is one to watch. They're cheap right now, arguably, and they could have a very, very bright future. Just secured a few $1 million as an investor. Worth the risk, a few $100 buy Hover and hold for at least one year. So that's really it, guys. Just a short and sweet video today. Just trying to get this thing started. We'll get a camera added. We're going to keep trying to grow this thing, and we're going to end the day on Sofi. Buy and hold. Don't panic. Zoom out. See the bigger picture. Not even above its IPO prices yet. Where's it going to be in the end of 2025? That's the goal here, guys. So thank you very much, and we wish you all a great day. Bye.